related areas, there are two things which we are most of the time we are lacking. One is our documentation is sometimes not so good, and second is we are not very good in promoting or marketing ourselves or our work which we are carrying out. So I was selected purposefully when I received a call from Ritesh sir that which area or which topic you would like to discuss. So I said that this would be one of the area where I can give some kind of insight to the faculty members, and I'm really happy. My job profile is I'm a joint director, Directorate of Technical Education, and looking after the establishment, which is completely non-technical area. But I must thank in the beginning the Ritesh sir and other my friends. They always give me different opportunity to remain in touch with the academia and some good content I would be able to deliver, and I remain in touch with the academic people. So friends, to begin with, this is my the flow of presentation or flow of my delivery. Perfect. So what is research promotion? So research promotion, or we can say promotion or branding. So what exactly is that? Brand is a company's or organizations or person's USP. USP means the unique selling propositions. Traditionally and in terms of marketing, brand is associated with the name making and reputation of an organization. So however, today's scenario, friends, is very different. Every person, every society, or even a social media page is considered to be a brand. For instance, let us take a very, very unique and very famous example, and we know that Amitabh Bachchan is a brand name because many times he is known for his movie or a product rather than movie or product itself. Similarly, we use the name of certain, society in our locality we live, and we call it as a landmark. When you want to say that where exactly do you live, you said that I am living near a particular place. So that is also can be considered as a brand. So brand in a layman's term is nothing but identification without an ID card. So you don't need, the introduction of honorable CMs, or you don't require ID card of honorable PM to recognize him. Just his name and face is more than enough. So that is called as a brand. For example, I have mentioned about the example of the two dignitaries, and let us see how this the brands are being created, and how they these dignitaries are making a conscious effort in such a way that they become a brand. So first and foremost thing is, you must have noticed that they make sure that they are very active and alertly active on social media. They make sure that they are involved with the public. Then they don't forget to acknowledge people who do well or appreciate them. In a way, they are directly connecting through social media with the common people, right? So that way, that helps tremendously to make them a brand. Next is, the promotion. How to make the promotion? It's very simple, friend. जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. In a layman's language, if I can say that whatever which is seen, visible, is always acceptable to the people. So promotion is what you do to create an image, and that consequently creates a brand. So basically, promotion leads to the brand, right? We don't need any introduction of Gandhiji. Gandhiji itself is a brand. Now, let us see that in our case, how we can promote ourselves for our work or our contribution in research. So this is, the very simple way I would suggest is to begin with the effect of the research promotion. So the first and foremost thing is, all of you who are attending, all the participants, dear participants who are attending this, I must suggest that you must have a Google Scholar page. So let us say, for example, I will show you my page. So this is, a page of which you can create from Google, and if you have a Google account or Gmail account, it is very easy to create a page on Google Scholar. So Google Scholar, my citation page is the easiest way. So if you see it carefully on a Google Scholar profile page, one can find author name and affiliation at the top of the page. And next, we can find the co-authors from the bottom right corner, right? You can see this here. From the bottom right corner. In fact, I must say that my page is not still updated. I have various, publications recently in last 6 months. So I'm yet to, update my Google Scholar page. But just to give you, some information, some insight about this, I'm showing this particular Google Scholar page. Further, all the papers along with the details and the link to the paper is listed. You can see that. The profile page also consists of number of citations by paper and years of publications column, right? You can see on the right side top how many citations are there, etc. So the best part of this Google Scholar is where you can also visible is H index and I-10 index for all the years as well as for the last 5 years that have been mentioned. So this is available on top right corner of the page, and I will explain you what do you mean by citations, H index, I-10 index later on. So the this is one thing, and it is very easy to operate with the support, with the help of Google Scholar. There is an option which is provided with positive sign where you can add papers which are published. However, because the journal is not using cross reference, so you might not edit paper automatically. You have to add your papers manually in this Google Scholars. Also, if you wish to visit another's author page, you just have to find the follow button, and you can, pressing that button, you will receive all the updates regarding his or her publications directly in your email account. So this is also a very good way if you are doing some kind of PhD work or research work, and if you are following some researchers in your area, and just if you find some Google Scholar page of those people, you just click follow page and you will get all the updates in your email. So this is also a very good useful application in Google Scholar. And last, by clicking the number under the cited by column, you can get all the papers who have cited your papers, right? So here, if there is a citation is there, if I click this, I can get all the informations whosoever have taken my references. So I can get all the references. I hope things are clear. If you have any doubt or questions at the end of my talk, we can have a discussion, thorough discussion. Now the question comes is, what exactly, as you know, these are my number of papers and details have been provided. Now the question comes most of the time, and people are always confused, and sometimes even if they don't know, they say yes, I have observed. So very important information I am trying to deliver this, and also my presentation I am going to share this with Ritesh sir, so you can collect it later on. This may be useful to you in future for some or other purposes. So most of the time people, when some big or senior people senior professors meet each other, or during some kind of a talk, they talk about what is, how many citations you have, what is H index, what is I-10 index, what is the impact factor of journals. We know the importance, but sometimes we don't know the meaning or the exact definition of each and every word. So I am trying to explain this in a very simple and lucid language, what exactly the meaning of citation, H index, I-10 index, and impact factor. So to begin with, citation is a reference to the source of information used in your research. That is, citation is a way to acknowledge the work of a person you are referring to or you are using in your work. So friends, never be shy of citing any work, or the cite as many work as you have referred exactly in your work, right? I repeat again for the clarity purpose. A citation is a reference to the source of information used in your research. Citation is a way to acknowledge Citation is a way to acknowledge the work of a person you are referring to or you are using in your work. Cite as many work as you have referred exactly in your work. So citations includes the name of a person or organization the work has been done by, the title or topic of the work, the name of the book, journal, web page, news media, etc. And it may also include not necessary name of publisher, volume, issue, book chapter, editor, URL, ISSN or ISBN number, or DOI and date or time of publications, as and when it is required. However, I am sincerely advising all of you to note that complete citation in your work would be, better to reach to the people, and it will also, a kind of, give some kind of gratification to the people who have worked in your area in the past. For example, one of my paper is there which has been cited. So whenever you are citing someone's else work, you should always, to begin with the author's name, then the name, topic, the title of the paper, then the from the journal which from where you have taken its ISBN, etc. numbers, etc., etc. And also you can mention, if you wish, the page number, right? So the complete detail would be, advisable when you are citing someone else's work. And I must repeat again, if you are always, never get shy of or never get hesitant of citing as many citations as possible, but always see that it should be related to your work, not like you cite so many papers and work and it has no relations to whatever the work which or the research work you have been mentioning or carried out. Next and very important thing which I would like to explain is the H. This is just, for your reference: author's name, year, the title of the paper, the name of the journal, and volume number, volume, issues, page number, etc. The next is the H index. What is H index? This is very interesting. The H index is an author level metric that measures both the productivity and citation impact of the publications. Initially, during initial years when it was invented by the physicist E. Hirsch, it was used for individual scientist or scholar. I will repeat this definition again after some time. So what is exactly the meaning of H index is? The index has more recently been applied to the productivity and impact of a scholarly journal as well as group of scientists such as department or university or country. The index was suggested in 2005 by the physicist at UC San Diego, Mr. George E. Hurst, as a tool for determining theoretical physics relative quality, and sometimes it is called as Hurst number or His index. The H index is an author. The H index is the largest number. The H articles have at least H citations each. So, for example, if an author has 5 publications, right? If the author has 5 publications, if the author has 5 publications and the citations of these 5 publications are 9, 7, 6, 2 and 1, I have taken it from greatest to the least, then the author's H index is 3 because the author has 3 publications with 3 or more citations. However, the author doesn't have 4 publications with 4 or more citations. Friends, I'm repeating the same thing again. Say for example, I am having total 5 publications. I have published 5 publications, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So in first publication, my work has been taken or mentioned by 9 different people. Okay. My second paper, my work has been, mentioned in their article or paper, technical paper by 7 different people or 7 different papers. The third paper mentioned or cited by 6 different groups. Then my fourth paper, only 2 people have given citations in their work, and my last paper, only 1 person has given taken the references. So it means that my first paper 9 citations, second paper 7 citations, third paper 6 citations, fourth paper 2 citations, and 1 paper only 1 citations. First paper only 1 citation. So it means that how many papers which have 3 or more citations? It means I have 3 publications which have 3 or more citations. I don't have, my papers are not reaching to 4, but the minimum value which is coming is 3. So it means that my the H index is 3. Is it all right? Now, let us say, for example, that an author's H index can only be as great as their number of publications. For example, an author with only 1 publication can have maximum H index of 1 only, right? If publication is having 1 citations. But on the other hand, say for example, I am having 20 different publications, but unfortunately, every publication is having only 1 citation, only and only 1 citation. So it means that my H index is only 1, right? And with the help of this graphical presentations, you can see that as the number of paper on the y-axis it is citation and x-axis is the number of papers, and different values are I have shown, and you can see that as the papers are increased, you can increase the number of citations. The next one is the I-10 index. This I-10 index means the name itself can give some kind of idea. The I-10 index means the number of publication with at least 10 citations, the number of publications with at least 10 citations. So this very simple measure is only used by Google Scholar and is another way of helping the or it's another way to gauge the productivity of a scholar. What are the advantages of this I-10 index? Friends, it is very simple and straightforward to calculate this I-10 index. And you can see, you have seen that in my citations of Google Scholar, it is free and easy to use. What is the disadvantage? One and only disadvantage is it is being used only in Google Scholar. Next is impact factor, and we talked about this impact factor number of times, and as I said, in number of talk. So how, what exactly this impact factor is? The impact factor, or IF, or a journal impact factor, that is GIF of an academic journal, is a scientometric index calculated by Clarivate that reflects the yearly mean number of citations of articles published in the last 2 years in a given journal as indexed by Clarivate's Web of Science. Friends, if you don't understand anything, don't worry. I will again repeat this. What is the formula? The formula is impact factor is equal to citations divided by publications of year -1 plus publications of year -2, and citations should be of that particular year. And an author, we have a conscious trade-off between the impact factor and quality of work, right? So let us say, for example, one of the best and the foremost, journal across the universe is, we know very well that it is Nature, and which is having the highest impact factor. The highest impact factor of 41.577, almost 42 in the year 2017, right? So if I want to calculate the impact factor of particular journal, let us say, for example, I wish to calculate the impact factor of Nature's journal. So Nature's journal, I take the year, citations year 2017. So on the numerators year, I am considering 2017. All of you please listen carefully. I am selecting the year 2017, and in this 2017, I am finding out how many citations are reported. So the citations which are reported are, say for example, 74,090, or say, let us say 74,000, right? And then I will go to the denominator sides and I will find out how many publications which are being carried out year -1, means 2017 -1, that is 2016. Nature journals have how many publications? So the publications values are coming as, say for example, 880, and I will also find out how many publications been carried out in published in Nature journal in the year 2015, that is y -2. So that comes to 902. So my citation value is approximately 74,000 divided by publications of 2016 is 880, plus the publications in year 2015 is 902. So if I calculate this, it comes to around 41.577. That comes to roughly 42. It means the impact factor of this journal is 42, right? So I'm again repeating the definition of this impact factor. The impact factor of an academic journal is a scientometric index calculated by Clarivate that reflects the yearly mean number of citations of articles published in the last 2 years in a given journal as indexed by Clarivate Web of Science. I hope things are very clear, right? I try to explain in a as simple way as possible. So that means that on average, its papers published in 2015 and 16 received roughly 42 citations each in the year 2017. I repeat again, the publications of last 2 years to be considered. Say, for example, if we are talking about 2017, then we should only consider the publications which are being cited in the by various researchers of the publications of 2016 and 2015 only. And so this comes to around 42. And when you are talking about 2017s, you have to report this value in 2018, right? So they cannot be calculated until all the 2017 publications have been processed by the indexing agencies. It's very obvious, right? So now in general, we publish in a journal by having second trade-off between the quality of paper and journal's impact factor. And as a consequences, sometimes we usually end up in publishing in relatively low quality impact factor journal. So you have to be, very, very specific, and we have to be very choosy while selecting or sending your paper to a particular journal for publications. But I'm just trying to, give you some kind of a formula or some kind of a tactics through which you can increase the impact factor of the journal where your paper you are trying to get published. Try to get your work published in a journal relevant or specific to your work. This is very important. If my field is of chemical engineering, I should try and see that, and that also my area where I carried out my work in petrochemical technology. So I must try to get published in journal which is particularly devoted to petrochemical engineering. I should not move, or I should not send this paper to some journals related with environmental technology or environmental engineering or some other kind of subject. So this is very, very important. The second thing which I would like to suggest you is try to publish your article in varying journals. This will give more visibility to your research area. And of course, I must say that with don't publish same article in different journals. It is, it's very, very illegal and gives you a very bad impression among the research groups and various journals. So why I'm saying this? If your research, your article is published in different journals, your your presence will be felt in different journals, in different people, different research group. If you keep on sending your paper to a single or 2 or 3 journals, it may get published, but then that visibility would be very, very constrained or restricted. The third which I would like to suggest is make sure that you and your team or people in the research area cite each other papers, even if there is a slight resemblance or reference to the work. Be selfless here, because this will benefit you as the overall citation will increase, and thus the impact factor of your paper. Friends, this is a win-win kind of situation. And I have personally seen so many research groups in our even engineering colleges also. They work in such a way that kind of harmony or their synchronization is so good that they give references to each other, and that way the citation increases to a more number. The number increases to a very good extent. And that will help you to increase the visibility of your work, visibility of your paper, and thus the impact factor also will of the journal where your paper is being published also indirectly increases. Try to promote your research article as well as your journal. So that I'm going to take it in a separate way, how to promote your research article as well as journal. But I'm repeating these things for your informations again. The steps which you have to take is your work published should be in the journals which is relevant to your or specific to your work. Publish your articles in different journals. Make sure you are giving citations to your you are mentioning the citations to in your paper of your friends or your team or group of people which you are resembles, and try to promote your research articles as well as your journals. Now the question comes is, what is why is research promotion is important? What is the importance of research promotion? This is the topic, main topic which we are discussing at this particular session, right? You have carried out an excellent work, right? But as I said in the beginning, most of the time we lack two qualities. One is our documentation is not so good. The second is, which we are absolutely poor, that is our promoting the work which we are being carried out. So it is very important nowadays to showcase your work to the people with whom you are associated, to the society, so that you can get a kind of recognitions, and there are so many other advantages also. So what is this importance of research promotion, and why the research promotion is very important? First is to promote your work, in the other disciplines. Then if the work is theoretical or conceptual, to look for people who can convert it into practice. You can try to increase the visibility of your paper, to increase the citation of your paper. When you are promoting your work, your citation will also be increased, and when the citation will increase, it is proportional that the impact factor of the journal will also be increased. And as I said, that if your work is theoretical or conceptual, you can get some people, industry people, who can convert this into or the scale up their work, scale up your work into practice. To find the people who can help or suggest you with the problems in your current work. Most of the time in the research area, you can get all different guidance and comments from different area. And now, since because of our information technology, we can connect across the world with different research groups. It is very, very easy and convenient to connect with different research group. Then to promote your work in other disciplines, to increase your credits in your professional domain, and to encourage and motivate the people to do work, to do the work in the areas, right? And last but not the least is, it gives you a kind of a satisfaction, a contentment, and you can make yourself feel very happy. So when you, the most important way of promoting the research, which I have experienced when I was doing my PhD work, is collaborating with various researchers or research group. So my work, I carried out my research work somewhere between 2004 to 2009, my PhD work. My work was, really multidisciplinary kind of a work, where I needed the help of electronics people and computer people also. So in one of the paper, which was published by the research group of some of the University of Sweden, I found that paper very interesting and useful. So, and they mentioned about some algorithms. So at that time, it was communication was through email. So I sent an email to the authors from where I learned the work, and I requested them to provide me the algorithms, and also asked for the permission to use the algorithms in my work. Friends, you won't believe, the support was so good. They provided me the code of complete algorithms, and it was very complex, but they provided with wholeheartedly the algorithms. And I used the algorithms. I mentioned in my PhD thesis about the support I received from them and the journals and the papers I published. And later on, he also requested me to, have a joint collaboration with each other. There was some kind of a grant at that time which was existing between the India and Sweden, and he found out from somewhere that the application of grant. We also submitted that application, but unfortunately, that grant was lapsed before we submitted our proposal. And still we are, very good friends. We are in touch with each other. So I always, recommend and support that whenever you are reading any paper in the articles, always, email them, because email is always provided by the author, and give some kind of comments, appreciate them. That will, give us kind of create a rapport between the various research groups and the area where you are working. So I am here with providing you 10 tips for promoting your research online, right? What are those tips? The tips for promoting your research online. The first is put together a strategy, right? Put together a strategy. What do you mean by strategy? So the strategy means the first part to strategize is while choosing your research area. Say for example, you have completed your master's and now you are planning for PhD program, or you are you have not thought, you are just undergraduate and planning to go for research, MPhil or MTech, and then later on PhD. So there is always a confusion that which research area I must choose, so that will be benefited to me, helpful to me, and useful to me in my professional career in a long way. So the first part to strategize is while choosing your research area field or precisely the topic, irrespective of the conventional perspective of a topic, which is either easy or an area of interest, and what I'm trying to say is, don't choose, see that you should not choose the area which is easy or which is, accessible by everyone and almost everything has been, work has been carried out in that area. It is very rarely that if you are choosing an area which is already been, saturated, that if you are lucky enough, it may you may get some better recognition or better audience. But to receive a better audience, you must select a topic which is, in demand. It can cause a drastic change or state of the art technology, and there should be a conscious trade-off between willingness and demand, and that will lead to a best possible outcome. So the selection of research topic is very, very important. It should be, as I mentioned, that it should be of state-of-the-art technology. It can have that capacity to change, give a change to the technology, and also you should also see that it should be your area of interest. Sometimes people choose the research area which is not to their area of interest. They don't like it and they choose it. So in between, in halfway, they have to come back. So see, very, very, be very careful while selecting your research area or research field. The second thing which is very important is in which journal you want to publish your paper should be very, very important. Don't send haphazardly your research article in any journal, right? Randomly. Select a few journals and then you send your papers. So what I'm trying to say is the time of writing the manuscript, you need to optimize between the quality of your work, quantity of work, how much time you have in hand, and time in hand for publishing the manuscript, quality of journals and needs of the journals, and what kind of audience you are seeking. Sometimes what happens, you have submitted your PhD thesis, and as per the norms of UGC or university, you have to produce a proof that this many number of papers I have published. So you are in hurry to publish the work, though that work is very good, excellent, but you have to make a compromise by sending the paper to some kind of ordinary or below average or average kind of a journal. So all these things, when you are starting this, you must taken care into account all these things. The third is, you have to strategize regarding your promotion to the published work, the kind of work, area of work, the status of work, and the people you want to reach out. Make your data available. See, I have, as Ritesh sir said, that I have an experience of almost 25 years, and in my part in these years, I had taken various different challenges. I must use the word challenges. So sometimes the situation in the past was such that I did not have that background of that particular technology or engineering, and since I was the senior and good in administration, I had been given the charge to become the head of the department, though I didn't know the ABC of those technology. So what I felt in some of the area, I'm not mentioning the name specifically, but what I have mentioned is that sometimes I have observed that people are so much possessive about their research. They kept things in lock and key. They keep everything secret. They hide so many things. And my suggestions to all of you which are present as a participant is, it is true that you should keep things in control, in safety control, but don't be so much possessive, and don't become so, your character or your nature should not be like that. You are hiding so many informations or providing only half of the informations. When you are publishing your work, try to make as much data as available. That gives a good impact. And since this plagiarisms and softwares and everything is there, people are very much aware. So your data will be not be stolen by anyone, but it will be rather more appreciated if you are providing or making your data, complete data, available. Okay, so then what is important thing is, you should write a summary. This is very, very important. When you are always writing the abstract, but abstract is sometimes you have to have a constraint of words, but write a summary about the work which you have carried out in a very plain English language. Write a summary of your work, focused on making it more accessible to the wider audience, and this will provide a good lead into your research and encourage more people to read your article. You could then post the summary to online discussion forums, groups and forums that you think might find it relevant. Or if you would rather go an extra mile, why not put a short video? I'm repeating again, prepare a short video which summarize your work and sharing it through a website such as WeShareSciences.com or YouTube.com. WeShareSciences.com, I must recommend all the participants to visit this website, where you can find variety of videos, and sometimes also you can get the videos of your area of interest, research area of interest. It's a very useful website for the researchers, for the academicians. I repeat again, WeShareScience.com, or you can also use YouTube.com. You can have a small short video of your work, summarizing your work, etc. As I said, make your data available. And this data availability should be, sometimes you can use mind maps or algorithms or flow charts or schematic diagrams, posters, charts, um, and then photos, and 1 minute. Huh? Yeah, so you can have this, graphical abstracts or kind of flow chart or algorithms or mind maps. So photos, 3D diagrams, and post it on the social media, or you can send it to various research groups. This is an example of this. Right side is, the example of this mind mapping. Yeah, it's a very simple way of explaining what exactly your work is. This is, the example of 3D diagrams, flowcharts, algorithms, schematic diagrams, which we are using in our engineering and technology. You can also show the actual photographs, images, uh, charts and graphs. As I said, you can prepare a video. YouTube, AnyMaker, PowerPoint would be helpful to, prepare the video. Pictorial presentation, PowerPoint. Lucid Chart is a very useful tool. You can use this for pictorial presentation. It is rather, certain features are better than PowerPoint. Canva is also good. And recently, these new plots are very popular among the research groups. So, as I said, you should be very, liberal in posting your ideas, your thought, your work in the social media. Uh, I don't advise you to put the entire paper on social media as per the license agreement with the journal, but you can put your graphical presentations, citations, graphical extract, even the screenshot of your first page of paper in the social media. And you can simply mention also publishing a paper on a social media platform. So what first and foremost is, let us say, Facebook. How this Facebook will be helpful for promoting your research work. Facebook is a personal connection account, and we have people from friends and families and relatives who are on Facebook, and many of which may not be aware. Your friends, your relative may not be aware of what extraordinary work you've been carried out. Um, Once they know about your work, they would be highly, happy and recognize you, and also gives you some kind of directives or some kind of guidance to progress you professionally. So you can share with them that your paper has been published in so and so journal, and your research field is this. Your the journal is reputed. You can also share the link of the paper, but always see they did not write about the detail of your research work and how much the publications which are important to you professionally. The second one is the WhatsApp. You can use this WhatsApp for sharing it in your research group. Make a research group of your area of interest. I don't have to mention much about how to use this WhatsApp. People all are aware about that. Third and very important tool is Twitter. Twitter has a limitations of number of words, but you can always put a pictorial presentation along with the shortened URL of your paper and or the link of the paper. The next thing which is very, very important, and I must advise all the participants to be use this LinkedIn. You know, LinkedIn is a professional social media platform, and therefore it is advisable to use as professional as possible. You can mention your work in standard language and ask people to cite them in their work. Further, you can ask people to give critical reviews and go to your paper to enhance your research activities. You must always make sure to put it in linked to the paper instead of sharing the complete paper. I repeat again, just share a link of the paper. Don't give complete paper on the social media because it violates the copyright laws. So this will, increase the visibility of your paper on journal site. Next, as I said, the YouTube is very important. You can put your videos over there, and there are other platform also. Recently, Indian version of social media, which is becoming very popular, is KOO, right? Which I mentioned on the right side of the bottom right side. So make sure when you are putting your details on social media, then you should use proper hashtag keywords and URL to get more visibility and better reach to the people. So as a peer, colleague or friend, it is requested to share your friend's work as much as possible by creating a research group. Socially, it is equally important. This is, a very popular among the professionals. It may be some artists or some writers starting a blog, right? So we talked earlier about writing a summary or portraying your work in your art form, but you can use the combination of these two by writing a summary and promoting your work as a layman, and this can be done through a blog. So what is a blog? Definition of blog. Blog means it is something that allows you to speak your mind out. Whatever you wanted to say, you can say it out with the help of the blog. Writing a blog, you don't need any technique or writing skill. You just gives you freedom to express in the manner you want to express. And it is very easy and vastly available. These are the various, platforms available to become a blogger. The easiest way is Google, followed by the Tumblr, WordPress. This is a sign of Wix and many others. One of the professionally good platform which I've found is LinkedIn, and it gives a very good publicize your what exactly you want to convey. And I would suggest that when you are writing a blog, being a researcher, you should focus on your research area rather than diverting yourself into some or other details. As I said, LinkedIn is very important, and I again repeat, you must, if you don't have the account, create an account. That will, even though you have a very steady job or you are settled somewhere, it will help you one on another professionally to give access or to give you some kind of it may be helpful to you in your professional life. The most important thing which I found being a researcher is you must register yourself in ORCID account, right? It's an excellent platform to connect the researchers and research groups, right? And it is always, things are very, very easy. It is not registering, and all these things are not complicated. It's very easy. They gathered the information, say for example your corpus ID, everything, how many publications, all these things, they gather it from different platforms. And this ORCID is being used widely, and it is one of the most popular platform. And the best part is it is free to use, and you can get all the informations and necessary support and details of various research groups. So this is one of my suggestions, to use this ORCID. The second suggestion, first suggestion was use LinkedIn, and second is use ORCID. This is the detail of the website. One of my student who is very good in, in fact, she sometimes she is my PhD student, and she sometimes giving me good suggestions related to research work. She is an excellent researcher. I'm using the word excellent researchers. So I'm just sharing. I must admit that when I'm writing the email, I'm not mentioning this so many details, but my student is mentioning the details. So you can see that being a professional person, whatever the details you want is available in this when she is writing an email to someone. And you can also see that she has not given her email ID. Email ID is obviously sending on the same email, but she has not given the contact number. But what in order to approach her for some kind of research work through this LinkedIn or ORCID or blog, she is always available. And you know the professional background of that person, right? So always I'm not saying this with affirmative, with confirmation, because I am not using such kind of detailing while writing an email or sending email to someone. But this is one kind of, suggestions to all of you. The use your research office. When I say office doesn't mean that a physical cabin or a desk or cubicle. We have seen this last 2 years, the pandemic effect of COVID pandemic, and we understood that we can work from anywhere. So what is the definition of office? When I said research office, I'm trying to say that research office means simply a place from where you can work. And with the term research office, it simply means that a place where you can talk about your work. So let us say what exactly the research office is. You can create or join group pertaining to your research area. You can make Facebook or LinkedIn page or join groups. These groups have people from around the globe, and especially on LinkedIn, you can even find your research pioneers. Right? As I said, you can get possible all informations through LinkedIn. Then you can create a group among yourself and your research progress. So the best way is through private WhatsApp group, where you can even add your supervisors to check your updates. Having a peer research group is really very, very important, specifically if you are engaged in a doctoral or postdoctoral research. It strengthens your mental health. You can use this forum for doubt clearing, brainstorming sessions, or for the discussions. And again, you are free to use groups from Facebook, LinkedIn, or internet sources. Connecting the media, will help you to, enhance your research and visibility of your research. So when you are, when you meet someone at your workplace or your organizations or in some kind of gathering, where, say, for example, you are attending some conference and there is a lunch gathering is there or dinner gathering is there. So interact, with open heart with various people. So this is the best way to improve the connections, professionals, and communication skills. And we are always cautious. I have observed that we are always cautious while talking to people at work regarding our research profile. So this should be eliminated. Feel free to talk with the people or the researchers who have a common area of interest. In fact, in Premier Institute, talking about research is a way to break ice between two individuals, right? Sometimes because of some kind of prejudices or some ego issues there. But if you discuss about your research, it is a very nice way of making communications happen, and have relations with your connections from as many directions as possible. You may never know who will be able, will extend to provide you the support, or extend the support. I give you my example, like NCL Pune. One of my thesis sent to examiner was from the scientist from National Chemical Laboratory Pune. I was not knowing him, but after evaluating my thesis, he sent me a letter to work for postdoctoral work at NCL Pune. Though I had some other commitment at my college, I could not be able to go. But when you be free to discuss with various people area where you have a common area of interest, don't get hesitant or shy away. So make your research, as I said, open. Most publishing house permits open access publications nowadays. However, some features are chargeable, and it may cost you. But if your funding agency facilitates, then you must go for open access. Then you must have a unique identifications. So whenever you are make sure that whatever the work you are publishing online, you use your link or a page that includes your unique identification number, that is your date DOI or RXV ID or PUB MED ID, that will be provided by the journals to you. This is vital to ensure that your work is tracked by the statistical data monitoring agency, so that you can keep on top of the conversations surrounding your research. We may think that people are not observing, or people are not evaluating our work. But when your work is published in some good journals, there are certain agencies are there which are continuously monitoring the work, and they are collecting the statistical data, and they may invite you, or they may take your help professionally or for some kind of consultancy purpose, and this would be helpful to you in future also. So the tips and tricks I just repeat: don't shy away, share your ideas and thoughts. The second thing which I would like to say, that honesty is the best policy. Never ever steal the data of others. If you are using the data, mention or take that permission of those persons. Always avoid the short term plan, or a kind of gimmick, or manipulations, or publishing the false results. It will not get good recognition for a longer period of time. So this is very, very important, because if your work is authentic, it gives you a kind of confidence and satisfactions. These are the various research platforms: academia, ResearchGate, researchers, Google Scholars. Put this. This is very, very useful tip I would like to give to all the participants, including the Ritesh sir. That when I visited few of the IITs when I was doing my PhD work, because at that time it was not very easy or accessible for me to get the soft copy through internet or from the internet. So I physically went to various IITs, and I visited various departments, chemical departments particularly. In that, what I found is they have kept a separate desk somewhere near the head office, and the months or last 6 months publications, they always put it on that bulletin board. That will give you not only the researchers the motivations, but also it encourage other peoples to start working in those areas. In every IIT, including UDCT, I found this kind of bulletin board where they put this. It is devoted only for the publications only. You can take multidisciplinary projects in NEP 2020. You must have seen that any multidisciplinary, there is so much of emphasis given on interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary work. So in fact, that is a different area of different sessions required. But last and but not the least, which I would like to say is use maximum benefits of intellectual property rights. Right? We are again repeating, not aware about these issues, advantages and disadvantages of this, but use maximum benefits of IPR. So there are 5 types of IP that are available in India. First is trademark, second is patent, third is geographical indications, fourth is industrial design, and fifth one is copyright. Using IP right gives also gives boost to your work. There are 8 PhD students working under me. I have told them very clearly that your work should be having minimum 2 patents. You should work in the way that you get 2 papers in some high index journals, peer review journal, and 2 patents must be there. Forget about the university and UGC's norms and regulations. Come only after you complete this primary task, right? So this is, initially students may feel little awkward and they don't like it, but later once they are in the verge of completion, they feel so much happy and good. And the last but not the least is think outside the box, right? Innovations, SSIP, startups, all these things you are very much aware. Take the help of our young students, young mind, and focus on or take the help in the innovations and research. Friends, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for this session. Actually, this topic is very important. This topic is very important for the research scholar, not only for the research scholar, everyone, those who want to communicate. How to start communication, how to start the literature, that is very important. But though the resources are available, but experiences are very important, which you shared with us, sir.
Any question, please type it, because there is some audio issues there in my PC. So if anyone is having any question, please type it.
So you may start your camera, so we'll have interaction.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there are a few questions, but the participants, if you want to discuss or if you have any questions, you may raise your hand so I can hear you. If possible, if you can speak, otherwise I will.
Hello.
Please type it, sir. There is some, audio problem is there. I may not be able to hear it properly.
Sure.
Hello, Mr. Iam from Indonesia. Hello.
Okay. Thank you.
Nice
just
to get connected with you.
Right. I already.
Okay, he has written the question here. How to make our data reliable and valid? Can you suggest me if I can make research about correlation between motivation and student score in mathematics?
Sir, what I'll do is I will call you. I will make a phone call and please tell me the exact question.
Yes, definitely. Sir, we'll get back to you.
Hello. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rites. Finally I can join this meeting, this session. Okay. How to make our data reliable and valid, Mr.
Yes. What is this question?
Oh, Mr. Sachin called me.
No, I'm talking with Mr. Professor Rites. I'm understanding your question is how to make the data
reliable and valid.
Data, please again repeat again.
how to make our data reliable and valid.
Okay, fine. A good question. See, when you are always make sure before publishing your data in any research journal, make your data, try to make your data safe as possible. My personal observation is we may have a kind of insecurity issue, but people are not that much bad. They try to steal your data. Even if they steal your data, it may not be useful to them because your way of working, your approach is always different from the others' approach. So first and foremost thing is you should see that you publish your data in a good research paper with a recognized research publication. Don't publish your paper in some ordinary or below ordinary research journals. Nowadays, there are so many frauds which are taking place. Some journals which are, you give some money and they paid your work. But this data, there is a chance that this data may be taken by somebody else and you cannot make a claim later on. So you should always see that your work should be published in some good research journal. And I don't have to say that if you want to publish your work in some good research journals, you will have to work hard and work with mind, right? Then only your work gets published in some good research journals. Once it is published in some good research journals, you are very safe now, right? Because it is their there's also their responsibility. At the same time, people cannot steal your data. Even if they steal their data, they immediately get caught, right? There was a time where the awareness was less and plagiarism, rules were not strict.
I know that.
That time, these things, intentions or manipulations and stealing the data was taking place. But now, according to my understanding, now we are in a very secure and safe environment.
Okay. A second question, Mr.
Yes.
Can you suggest if I make a research about correlation between motivation of my student, and student score in mathematics? Can we measure that data?
Please repeat again, little loudly. There is, as I said, some issue is there in my audio. Some audio issue is there in my computer.
Okay. Can you suggest me if I make research about correlation between motivation and student score in mathematics?
Yes.
How to measure that data? How to measure motivation? Can you suggest any instrument maybe? Thank you.
Ritesh sir, I will talk with you on
motivation.
To understand exactly the question.
He is saying like he is trying to work on the motivational coefficient of any student. Okay. And how we can correlate this into mathematics. So it is a kind of topic for him. He is asking suggestion how to measure the motivation of any student or anyone.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Ritesh. Thank you.
Yeah, I will provide you my email ID. I will share the different, ideas through my email ID. Please note down. It's very simple. sachinparikh@hotmail.com. You please send an email. I will try to provide you as maximum guidance and support as possible.
Okay. Thank you.
You can take it from Ritesh sir also. In fact,
okay. I will send to this.
Yeah,
it is there now. It is in chat box. I have shared the mail with everyone.
Okay. Yeah. That's my email, Mr. Ritesh.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Mr. Isam. Thank you for joining all over the way from Indonesia. Sir, I forgot to tell you that we have participants from two time zones. Some of them are from Indonesia, some of them are from
very
India.
good. Excellent. Very nice.
Any other question, participants? Okay, I think this is very important, sir. Before starting your journey, even
And
what
I will
I
share
observe.
my presentation to you also in email.
Sure, sure,
Thank
sure,
you.
sure, sure.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. I know you are too busy.